Hello soulmate, you're welcome to my channel. This is Luchi's Design. In today's video, I'll be teaching you the step in making this beautiful gown you are seeing here. You'll also be learning how to fix a pocket and many more. Please make sure you watch till the end and also subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. Okay, this is the beautiful fabric I'm using for this project. I have 3 layers here. I'll put my measurement on the screen. Okay, the first thing I will do is to fold my fabric into 2 equal parts. Fold it into 2. The folded edge will be facing me, so I will turn it. For my A-line, I will fold it diagonally. I'll fold it diagonally in form of a triangle. I will be cutting front and back together. Depending on how full you want your flail to be, you can increase the fold. In case your fabric have this marking, please make sure you check before you determine your starting point. I'll now mark a straight line. I'll mark a straight line to determine my starting point. Okay, I will now measure the length I want. I have 39 inches plus 1, that is 40. The 1 inch is for folding allowance. Please, if it's not up to the length you want, you can adjust the fold. Okay, the first thing I will do now is to divide my shoulder into 2. 16 divided by 2, I have 8 inches. I added half inch for sewing allowance, and I will come down by 9 inches to mark my chest line. I'll make a straight line to connect it. The next thing I will mark now is my neck width. The neck width I'm working with is 3 inches for the front and back, and the neck depth for the back is 1 inch. I will curve it. For my front neck depth, I mark 9 inches. You can take 10 or 11 inches depending on what you want, but this is what I want. I will now connect it. The V neckline is not straight, it's curved. See the way I'm covering it? This is a V neckline. If you like, you can use a round neck. For me, this is what I want. I'll just curve it out. Okay, this is all for the neck. I will now come down by half inch to mark my back shoulder slant, and for the front I will mark 1 inch, and I will connect it to my neckline. Okay, so I will divide what I have here by 2. Okay, coming by 0.7 for the front and half inch for the back, and I will mark a straight line. So to curve the armhole now, I will divide my round bust by 4. I will input the measurement here, and I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance. I will connect it. Okay, connect my front armhole. So to mark my A-line shape, I will now put my tape like this so that you understand what I want to do. You put your tape slanted. I will now mark a straight line. I will increase mine because I want the flail to spread well. So I will now mark straight down, and I will mark my length. I will mark my length 40 inches. I'll just go round to connect it. Okay, so I'm done inputting the body measurements. So for my choker, the choker at the front, I will come down by 3 inches. Please, if you're a bigger size, come down by 3.5. As we proceed, I will show you how you can cut it. Okay, but for now I'll just leave it like this. I'll cut the back neck face. After cutting it, I will separate the front from the back, and I'll work on the front. I will cut the shoulder slant for the back. I'll cut the armhole for the back. Just cut the back off. Okay, I'm done cutting it. I will trim off the part that I don't want, and I will remove my back parts. Okay, this is my front now. Okay, after arranging it, the next thing I will do now is to cut off the part I measured for my choker. Don't cut exactly on that line, leave half inch for the sewing allowance. See the part I left for the sewing allowance, so I will measure what I have, not on the sewing allowance line, the line that I mark initially. I'll measure it, just measure it round. I have I have 6 inches here. I will write it down. Please take note of that because we'll be making use of it later. Okay, just confirm the measurements. I have 6. I will now cut off my front neckline. I'll just cut it off. Don't cut exactly at the line, leave half inch for sewing allowance. Okay, I'll cut it. I'll trim up my armhole for the front. That's all I have for the cutting. So the next thing I will do now is to slash my back open, because I won't be using zip, so that it can pass through my head. I'll measure down 6 inches and I will give it a little curve. Just follow what I'm doing. You can do whatever you want. I'll open it up. Okay, see what I have. I want the back to be open. For the sake of beginners, I will show you how you can cut your facing. I'll fold my leftover fabric into 2 and arrange it very well. This is for my back, and I will trim it off like this. I'll measure down 3 inches and I will curve it. Just trim it off. I hope you understand what I did. I will also do the same thing for the front part. Just place it and measure down 3 inches. Draw it round, and that's just it. Okay, please make sure you use your soft gum. Use any gum. This is paper gum that I use here, and gum means so that it will stabilize it. I will arrange it very well like this. Place it very well, and you sew each round with half inch. I've sewn it already. I use half inch to sew it. I will notch it round. Please, this notching is very important so that the neckline will relax very well. I will do the same thing for the both parts, and I will turn it like this. Just turn it like this. Use your pressing iron to press it down. Iron it flat. Very important. Okay, I'll do it offline and show you the next thing to do. I've done it. It's now looking very neat. Okay, so you can fold this part if you want. Fold it a little with half inch and use your hemming gum to iron it so that it won't be moving around. Just put your hemming gum, fold it with half inch, and use your hemming gun to iron it down so that it will stick together. Okay, let's work on the choker part. For the choker, I will be cutting a long stripe of fabric, and to know the amount of fabric you will cut, I will now measure the back neckline. I'll measure the back neckline. I have 3.5 inches here. I will also measure the other side. I have 3.5 inches. If you add it, it will give you 7 inches. For the front, we have 6 inches. If you unfold it, it will give you 12 inches. So the front neckline is 12 inches while the back is 7. So what I will do now, add it together. If I add it, it give me about 19.5. I'll add half inch for sewing allowance. You can add one if you want. I will now measure the length of 20 inches. That's for the length. For the width, I have 2 inches. If you unfold it, it will give you 4 inches. That's what I will have for the choker. I'll cut it off. Just mark the length and you mark a straight line. Make sure that the line is straight. You connect it and cut it off like this. The length is 20 inches. The width is 2 inches on fold. I will use my soft gum to iron it. This is very important to stabilize it and to make it look thick. So I'll iron it. I will put it on fold now. I will fold it into 2. I will determine the middle, determine the center part. See the center here. So what I will do now, I will measure 6 inches on both sides. That's for my front neckline. I will also measure 6 inches on this side too. See what I'm left with on this side. 3.5 plus half inch for the back neck. Okay, so I will sew it with half inch. I'll just mark it now to show you how I will sew it. I'll sew it straight. I'll go to my sewing machine now and sew it and come back and show you the next thing you will do. Okay, I've sewn it. I will notch it at the end here where I stop my stitches. I will also notch it here so that if I turn it, it will come out well. Let me just trim it off so that you understand what I mean. I'll trim it off now. Okay, from here to the other side is 12 inches. That's the choker. Okay, this for the back part, I will be using stripe of fabric to tie it at the back. So I cut a tiny piece. You can also cut 1.5, but I just want a tiny piece. I'll fold it like this. I'll just fold it into 2, and you can use your iron to iron it so that it will be easy for you to sub stitch. So what I will do now, go to my sewing machine. I'll put it this way, put it inside and sew it. That's what I'll be using to tie the neck. You also do the same thing on the other part. Okay, I've done it. I stitch it with half inch. The stripe of fabric is inside. I left half inch here. The half inch is what I will use to attach it on the back neck. I will turn it inside out. I'll use my turning loop to turn it. Just push it in, push it out. Okay, I'll push it out. Just take your time. Okay, see what I have now. It's coming out already. I will use my iron to iron it. See the part I folded in. The other part I will use it to attach on the back neckline. This is simple as ABC. To fix the choker, the first thing I will do is to join the back and front shoulder. Just stitch it together with half inch. Just arrange it very well. I'll go to my sewing machine now and sew it with half inch. After sewing it, you have something like this. Now it's time to fix the choker. You now place your choker very well and you arrange it to match the back neckline. See the way I'm doing it, you just place it together. Make sure it's equal and follow what I'm doing. This is the back. If you check very well, it's equal, it's aligning. I'll just sew it like this. Just place it the way I did. Use your pin to secure it. I will sew it with that half inch So after sewing it, what I will do is to push it inside. Just push the white part inside and top stitch on it. Also do the same thing on the other side of the neck. I'll do it off camera. This is very easy. If you don't understand what I did, you watch the video again so you understand. If you have any question, you can drop it on the comment section. All right, the next thing I will do now is to close the two sides. I use 1 inch and close the two sides on for the both sides. I've cut my sleeve. I have a detailed tutorial on how to cut a basic sleeve. It's on my channel. Please check it out. I'll show you how to cut pockets. I just place my hand. Make sure you spread your hand very well. You just mark it. Give it any shape you want. This is 2 here. I'll cut another one to making it 4. So I have 4. So I'll show you how you sew it. Just mark it. I'll stop my stitches here. So I will use the other part to attach on the dress. Do the same thing. Okay, I've sewn it. Okay, see what I was telling you. See the 1/2 inch I left here. So what I will do now is to measure the width. I'll measure it here. Okay, I have 6.5. So from my shoulder I will measure down 19 inches. That's where I will start to attach my pocket. So I will now measure the 6.5 inches I measure for my width. I'll measure it. After that, I'll use my seam ripper to rip up the thread, just loosen the thread to create a hole. That's where I will attach my pocket. I'll open it. I'll go to my machine and back stitch it down so that it don't loose. So what I will do now, I will place it like this. Just place it like this, and you sew it, turn it to the other side, and also so I will do it and come back and show you. This is what I mean. I will have sewn it already. I sew it. Very simple. I also have a detailed tutorial on my channel on how to do it. See what I have, very neat. Please, if you find this video helpful, kindly subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe and turn on notification bell for more videos. Please hem the downside. That's all.